heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Hey, everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Disrespectful is how Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo described his heated exchange on the floor with the father of Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton following the season-ending loss in Game 5 of their first-round NBA playoff series last night. He added the two men did talk later in a good place. John Halliburton apologized later on social media. Tyrese Halliburton agreed his father was out of line and had a conversation with him as well. Panthers defenseman Aaron Ekblad will serve the first of a two-game suspension in the potential clincher in Game 5 against the Lightning in the NHL first-round playoff series tonight, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN2. Tampa's Brandon Hagel, who took that elbow by Ekblad, will not play tonight. 6'11" forward Sidi Gouye from Senegal, one of the top international prospects in his age group, told ESPN he has committed to the University of Arizona.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. Rio to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's going to fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want money.
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
The Blitz is ready to go for 2 hours straight of sports talk. John Abraham, Brian Temple, the Temple Master, back at it here on 97.7 ESPN, the Zone of the Braves.
What are we doing? What?
Huh? You know what's going on here? Joe Hunk's out of town.
And the whole place is going to help.
Dealing with children or whatever he's got to do. We're sweating a little bit more than usual here in studio. The Braves aren't sweating it too much, though, because they're playing the Rockies, and the Rockies are looking like one of the worst teams in MLB history. And they're looking to be 500 after tonight, after they get the win last night here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 8-2 against the very sad-looking Colorado Rockies. They've only got 4 wins on the season. They've lost 25 of them. Now, I would love to talk a little bit more about this, but at the same time, I keep getting brought back to what the Yankees did yesterday, and it's not because I'm a Yankees fan. It's because, yet again, the Yankees managed to go back-to-back on the home runs to start off a game against the Baltimore Orioles. in their 15-3 win. When the bats get hot, they get hot. They get really hot. And I love to watch it happen. 15-3 was the score in that game. They have game 3 of that series today, starting at 5:35 p.m., and then they look to face off against the Rays. We also have a lot of conversation following Alabama and whether or not high school players should get paid to have fun. Look, it was one thing for the college players. Look, that was all right. That was good enough. Okay. But to stretch it now to the high school, and I understand a majority of the states already do it, but to stretch it to the high school level, getting paid to play football or baseball or any type of sport, guys, you could have already been doing that. These kids, all they needed to do was start making t-shirts, learn to make some t-shirts, learn to sell yourself. You sell yourself to the kids around the whole high school and maybe the entire community, and that's a way you can make a little bit of money while also playing some sports. You already have the fans in the seats.
I mean, for crying out loud, the band kids already know this. I mean, because all the fundraising. I mean, you know, how many chocolate bars have you bought? How much wrapping paper have you bought? All these T-shirts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got a closet full of stuff from the Grissom band.
Yeah.
For my kid being in there. I mean, crying out loud, it's already been happening.
Yeah.
All we're doing is just changing how the money arrives.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going down in the state of Alabama. It's including Alabama football, Auburn baseball. It's included Alabama baseball as they look forward to their matchup against Vanderbilt this weekend. But there's also a lot of things going down in the NFL and college football in general. And yes, I know the NBA and the NHL are having one hell of a playoff season, but I am not one to focus on all of that because similar to other sports talk guys on this station, I like to talk about football. I like to talk about the baseball. I like to focus on the sports that a lot of people are focusing on.
Like kangaroos.
Maybe not any kangaroos. That was a funny story, though. I do like that. Kangaroo Jack, first guy to come to mind. He was my best friend when I was younger.
There you go.
Got an interesting quote from former Steelers running back about Shedeur Sanders, why he thinks he's going to be an absolute bust. And you're thinking, well, which Steelers running back are we talking about? Merrill Hodge, of course, a guy that came into the league back in the 90s and was an absolute beast in the position, leading not just the running back position, but the wide receiver position as well. And he was not your typical wide receiver. This is a big white dude with some crazy pads, and he still led the team. Now, again, this was a different type of sport back in the 90s, similar to college football now in the 2025s. But regardless, it was still impressive to say the least. And I think he holds a little bit of merit for his predictions that he's made in the past, like the Johnny Manziel bust, which I'm pretty sure everybody thought that was the case. But regardless, as a 14-year-old in the time, Johnny Manziel getting drafted was one of the coolest things that could possibly happen to my life. Again, I'm a Browns fan. It's not saying too much. I have some grades for the Tennessee Titans I look forward to talking with you about. You guys can also join in on the conversation, 256-576-4977.
You're getting the hang of it.
We also have an outlook on some of the quarterbacks in the SEC that should be starting. Connor O'Gara did a wonderful, wonderful article about that over on Saturday Down South. So we will be getting into that a little bit. And James Larson from ProFootballNewsroom.com is going to be joining us to update us on what's going on in the UFL. Yes, the UFL is going on. I know I am usually the only one that makes a big deal out of the UFL, but this year it feels a little bit different. I'm not focusing on the UFL nearly as much as I was in the past, and I'm a huge guy when it comes to football. Anything football will get me just jumping around with joy. But this year it just doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe that's because we've got even more football than ever with college football and the NFL extending their seasons. That could have something to do with it. Could also be because, well, we also got the insanity that was March Madness. Maybe I'm feeling a little burnt out on my favorite sports. Or maybe the UFL is just kind of being swallowed up now by the NBA and the NHL and, the MLB that has been so exciting. You can also watch the show over on WZZN TV. You can find us on Facebook and X at 97.7 ESPN. And also, you want all the information about what we got going down on the station, 977ESPN.com is the place to find that, as well as our big zone deals where you're going to be able to pay 50% or more, not on car insurance, but on some of the best food and the best fun in the North Alabama area.
What other station lets you double your money
Come
than
on.
with big zone deals? $25 gets you $50 worth of food. You got great deals on golf. You got great deals on food. Anything you need is right there. Big zone deals. Just go to the top left corner, but you go to 977ESPN.com, and you could be a serious hero. Download it, get it, and you can have the coupons right on your phone, and you could be a hero when you walk in the house tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Brian, do you fancy a trampoline park, though? It's the real question.
I like the concept of them, but in our life, the trampolines were called the Mangler.
Yeah? Why was that?
Because somebody's breaking an arm this summer. And somebody's breaking an arm.
Oh, well, that adds on to the questions that I'm going to have for you then
Because,
later
in
on.
grade school, you always knew who got his trampoline over the summer
Mhm.
because that kid comes in with his arm in a cast.
Yeah.
And in September.
I'm surprised I've never broken a bone, and I was one that extensively, first off, played football. I played baseball.
Right.
And I also jumped on the trampoline, and we also had our own little wrestling confederation
Right.
on the trampoline. I was the flying fisherman.
Right.
I had my moves. It was
Huh.
the flying fisherman. I jumped, and I kicked people. That's what I did. We played.
So you didn't wear the yellow rain slicker? No.
No, but that's exactly what my guy, in my imagination,
The
would
Gordon's
wear.
fisherman.
Yeah, he'd wear that. It'd be like the boxing coat
Hi,
that you
Brian.
throw
I'm
on.
old.
Like the Long John Silver's
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, that would be my look.
Right.
I would take off the jacket though,
The big slicker, yeah.
and then I'd be like, and I'd have yellow pants, and that would be my thing.
That sounds good.
It would be right. Joe would love this conversation regardless.
Absolutely. Hey, Joe, call us.
Yeah, call us
You
in.
know what? Of course, I know. As a father of, actually, my daughter's your age. That's how old I am. It's someone with a new kid in the house. Baby sleeps, you sleep. So I don't care what needs to be done. Baby sleeps, you sleep.
Mhm.
So Joe, if you're asleep and listening later, just know we're thinking about you. But if you're awake and got a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
give us a call.
Yeah.
256-576-977.
Look at that. A little back and forth from you.
We're getting the band back together.
We are. If Joe calls in, then we'll truly be getting the band back together. I do want to focus on this real quick because we don't have too much time until we have to hop into our conversation with James Larson. And I do want your guys' opinions on it throughout the show. It's going to be wide open in the second hour as well as we get into the cover five and we get into some of the nitty gritty of the conversations on today's show. I am all for athletes getting paid for what they do, especially because it is a very taxing thing. I mean, whether you're playing, I would say football, lacrosse, hockey, I think that you are going to get banged up a little bit and you do have an opportunity of getting hurt. When it comes to high school sports, though, I think about it like this, as of course, legislation is
It's
getting
for you to
into. Yeah, I know. It's not easy for me to say. Is getting into this whole thing about Alabama and should we or should we not pay high school players? At this point, it's coming with time. Might not be this year, might not be next year, but it is coming. We are going to join the rest of the states that wrap all the way around us. And if it's not a full-on payment, like an NIL type of thing that we're seeing in Arizona, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, then it is going to be something similar to what I would say. I think it's what Virginia might have and what Texas has, where it is specific to a certain group. 18 and up in Texas, oh, you can get paid. Over in Virginia, it's a little bit different. Actually, I think it might be, it's a North Carolina, I think. North Carolina, you have to be in a private school to get paid. And that's the difference. If you're in a public school, you can't. It's coming regardless, because the majority of the states do have it all out. And I think it is too late to kind of go back on your word and say, no, we can't do this anymore. We got to take this away. It's coming to Alabama. Kids are going to get paid to play. And just loving the sport isn't enough. Now it's to the point where you need to play these sports to make a living, even though you're a high schooler and you're not directly going to get the money. It's going to your parents. I think that's great. And I could just be a very sad football player that never got paid whenever I was in high school. But regardless, I'm making the money now. It's tough to see because it's taking the love out of the game and it's adding a monetary gain to it, which means now kids that didn't really want to play football before, even though they've got the size, they don't love the sport, but there's money included. So why not? I can make money. I'm going to do it. And now, since we're getting down to not just the teenagers that are in college, but we're getting down to the high schoolers, this is what their life is all going to be about. It's going to be thinking about the money, which I think is good in some ways, but it can also kind of distort the way that you think as well. If you're a high school player, you're not good enough. You think you can go on to college and make more money. You're not able to. Money's not going to come as easy as it did in high school. Top into the phone lines, 256-576-4 or 97.7. Sorry, Brian. Who we got?
Jimmy Lay from AL.com has joined us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Hey, Jimmy, good morning.
Jimmy! How you doing, Jimmy?
Here we go. Now, Jimmy, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
I'm sorry, I've got a rookie at the board today. I don't know what button to push.
No, you're talking about NIL in high school, and one of the things that when I talk to coaches that they tell me is that this has been happening already for years with the private schools. That's why the Alabama High School Athletic Association has what I call like a double penalty for private schools. They have the multiplier, which means that they don't do the classification based on the actual number. I think it's 1.35 students. And they also have the performance-based sort of formula. So if the team is doing well, they accumulate points and they will move up in classification if they continue to do well. So they can go out and recruit, literally. I mean, they can go out and say, okay, we will, as a form of NIL, we can offer this kid a scholarship to come in. And I'm going to tell you, some of these schools, some of these private schools, that's worth a lot of money for parents. And now that you have school choice, they've opened it up even more. The state gives a $7,000 voucher for parents who qualify to send their kids to whatever school they want to go to. Man, if you open up NIL, it's really going to make it hard. It's going to make it almost impossible for the AHSA to monitor it and to be able to regulate it. Yeah. And I think that's their greatest fear. I know they don't want players like Caleb Holt moving out of state to go to Georgia, and you even had the kid from Thompson. I can't remember his name. The quarterback that turned down money.
Yeah, that was an awesome thing to see because this is a kid that he's sitting straight up with his team, and I remember reading about that as well. And even though he could make a lot of money, it was in the millions. He decided to stay with the team because this is where he thinks he can grow the most, and I think that right there is very special in a kid.
Yeah, that was awesome to see that, but it's just going to be what happens. I hate to say it. The great players are going to do it. I mean, you already have players that are transferring out. They've been going to IMG for their last year. Westminster had Chase McCarty do that for a year, and now he's at Houston. Seemed like there's been all kinds of really good players that do that. But if you add NIL to the mix in the state, you will be able to maybe keep some of those players from going out of state, but you're just going to have all kinds of chaos with kids transferring. You think it's crazy now with them transferring. It will probably prompt them to come up with a different kind of formula for private schools because they're just going to say, well, they got too big of an advantage now. Yeah. And, I really don't think you need the multiplier. I think just go with performance-based. If a team is doing well or school's doing well, but what it does, it hurts like some sports like soccer because, to give you an example, like Westminster, their girls have won back-to-back state championships in soccer, so they accumulated enough points that they moved up to 5A. Well, you got to move the boys up to 5A too, and they hadn't won back-to-back state championships.
Yeah.
So it really is going to – it's probably going to force them to do something different with how they do the classification. You saw that. I don't know if you saw that thing that we were talking about with AL.com. Thank you. With how they're going to count students, man, it's just going to be crazy. I know they don't want any more problems than what they already have, and it seems like every year we have some kind of thing happening. I wish maybe something like, you remember what happened a few years ago with the girl from Charles Henderson that was such a good basketball player, and she received some money to play in the Junior Olympics, and she was penalized for that.
Yeah.
To me, if something like that happened, I would say, you know what? Okay, I could see that being acceptable, but just opening it up to say, hey, the schools, especially private schools that have a lot of money, they're going to be at a huge advantage.
No doubt about that. And Jimmy Lay is one guy that definitely can say that confidently with AL.com as well. Jimmy, I appreciate your call, man. Good information from you, man.
Have a great day, guys.
Good stuff. Yeah, no. To say the floodgates would be opened yet again, and this is the reason why, they would be wide open, and it, again, would just be way too much for anybody to try and dictate right out the gates. And this is why we might bash on the NCAA so much on why they can't get anything figured out with it. It's because there is so much to figure out.
Well, and this feels like the natural progression of NIL that seems to be, in my perception, seems to be running unchecked for such a long time, and no plan put in place early enough to control it. And so now NIL coming to the high school level makes perfect sense to me. And as a product of private school education, it's expensive to go there. So the joke was my parents used to have money, and then I went to private school. And I went on some scholarships too, which means I had to keep my grades up. And that was way before that. And I'm not athletically inclined. I'm not even a mathlete. So it's very expensive. So the money's there. And if they're alleging that this has been going on already, money's already been changing hands already, then let's put a structure around it. And if we're going to do it, and the horse is already out of the barn on this one, let's put some guardrails around it.
No doubt about that. The entire country is in on it, and it's just going to get worse from here. And I say worse just because I don't think it shouldn't have got to this level. But that's just me, for a guy that was very passionate about the sport. I know a lot of kids are. They're playing for passion, not for the money. But again, I mean, at some point, they're going to need to either get a job or they're going to need to figure it out. Reality is going to set in, and it's going to be tough. But again, no guardrails and just a whole lot of floodgates opening in high school football now. And I didn't think it'd happen this fast. But you know what? It's an interesting time in the world. And Natty Dan, Wolverine Dan, you're wondering why your fertilizer is so expensive? Well, it's because money's getting thrown around like it doesn't even matter. Let's take it to break.
Too much other fertilizer.
Yes, that was perfect. Let's take it to break. When we get back, hopefully less fertilizer. We'll talk with James Larson from
He's already on the line, getting ready.
ProFootballNewsroom.com. Always good to have James on, and we'll get that conversation going on the other side on ESPN Winchester 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WCBN TV.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
TalentHVAC.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Temperature is relatively warm as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. We're only going to drop into the mid-60s. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Thursday afternoon. Temperature climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. There is a better opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms through the heart of Thursday afternoon. Some of that activity could be on the stronger end of the spectrum, and then maybe some gusty winds across the Tennessee Valley. That activity will subside as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Of all the songs you could have just like replaced, this is one of them.
I like this.
You a country guy?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of everything.
It's crazy.
Now, I'm more like the 70s, 80s country.
That's similar to me.
I'm a firm believer that country music is better when it's made by ugly people.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. I like Sturgill Simpson's country.
Simpson?
I think that's good. Sound and Fury was an absolute amazing watch over on Netflix.
Spoke to Jerry Glanville yesterday. Coach Jerry Glanville had a nice conversation with him on the Drive yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
I did not know his nephew was in the Avent Brothers.
Really?
Yeah, and he's talking. Coach is talking about coming up this way. Might actually get him in studio one day because he's coming up here for a concert.
Nice.
I forget where he said where. I have to text Coach here in a little bit and ask.
There's only two places I feel like in Huntsville that there's going to be a legit concert with big names.
Right.
It's going to be
Orion,
or
maybe Mars Music Hall.
Mars or I would say the BBC. You can turn this music off. Joe's a fan of that country music coming down from Nashville on his time up there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Hey, I married a Nashville gal. I married a Franklin princess.
I gotcha.
So it happens.
Well, either way, I'm married to the game, and the game is also courtesy of Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. 2 hours straight of the Blitz. John Abraham, Brian Temple here with you guys, adding yet another guest as we get into the conversation with James Larson from Pro Football Newsroom to talk a little bit of the UFL and some spring football. As well, it's off and rolling, and it's almost halfway through the season. And believe it or not, these games have been a lot of fun to watch. James, how are you doing today, man?
I put myself on mute. Of course, I did that. I'm doing well, man. Hope you're doing well over there. It's been man, what a weekend of VFL football. Overtime, down to the wire thrillers. You couldn't ask for anything else.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And if you guys are watching on WZZN TV, you're able to see James. So, hi, James. Welcome to the new world of radio, which includes, of course, video streaming as well. But yeah, I mean, the team we like to focus on is the Birmingham Stallions, and they got close in that matchup against the Memphis Showboats. Showboats come into this game 0-4. And, well, Birmingham just not able to get it done, man. What has been the biggest problem for the Stallions this year after, of course, the back-to-back-to-back that they've been having in this league, and including, of course, the USFL that is now turned into the UFL?
Yeah, the big thing hurting the Stallions right now is health, especially of their quarterbacks. We saw Alex McGee, their starting quarterback, go down in week 2 on the first play. Matt Corral comes in, and Matt Corral is a guy, former Ole Miss product, very talented quarterback. He came in, he helped lead them to a couple of wins, but unfortunately went down with an injury himself. So now Case Cookus comes in, and Case Cookus is QB3, and Cookus is a guy that we're familiar with in spring football. He's had a lot of success, but just isn't the exact same quarterback that Skip Holtz has used in his systems previously. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Case to kind of settle in. We saw that this past weekend where, it felt like Skip Holtz and Case weren't exactly on the same page all the time. So we'll see, hopefully Matt Corral comes back soon. But right now, these quarterbacks, these injuries, and just some of the internal issues for Birmingham that have piled up lately, that's what's holding them back. So hopefully for them, it's a bit smoother second half of the season.
Well, it's always something, too. I love how the UFL, it really goes into depth with the on-field mics. And in the first few weeks, I remember Matt Corral coming onto the field, and he was trying to get the play across to his team, and he was struggling with that. So I can only imagine getting down to the third quarterback, and although he's getting reps during practice, he's not getting the same type of looks that the two main quarterbacks you're really wanting to have to play with are. So that is always an interesting thing. And then looking over at the Battlehawks and the Panthers, this one's always fun, especially when you see a guy that was in the national championship just 2-3 years ago in Max Duggan. How has he adjusted to the UFL?
Yeah, it's been interesting for Max because he came into the season as QB2 behind Manny Wilkins for the St. Louis Battlehawks. He, it was a tight competition in camp, but coach rolled with Manny since Wilkins had already been in the system before, had some experience, wanted to give Max some more time. But then all of a sudden, Wilkins goes down with a season-ending injury, and then, well, it's the next man up, and it's Duggan's opportunity. And we saw a lot of growth from him from week 4 to week 5, where he jumped in for Manny, who got injured against Arlington in week 4, and you could just tell Duggan, he hadn't played football in a while. He wasn't getting the starting reps in practice, and he looked a little unconfident. He wasn't comfortable in the pocket. He wasn't going through his progressions, his reads. This week, he's got a full week of practice under his belt, so he comes out much different against Michigan. The game plan's a bit more tailored towards what Max can do, and we saw what he can do on the ground. I mean, his legs were a constant factor. He rushed for over 70 yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. Michigan had a really hard time containing him in the pocket. So Max is a guy that looked, like you said, a lot of college success. I mean, at TCU that last season, taking them to the national championship game. He's been with the Los Angeles Chargers for a couple of years. Now he's with St. Louis. I think we're going to continue to see him grow moving forward.
The team that I'm looking at that's really just kind of fallen has been the Brahmas, and they're sitting at 1-4. And watching what happened with the Roughnecks, 27-3. It just looks like the Brahmas haven't really been able to get their feet under them. Talk about the main problems that you're seeing from San Antonio.
The Brahmas has just been organizational issues throughout this offseason where they've lost some players, they've lost some coaches. And look, Wade Phillips right now, their head coach, he's on a leave of absence because he's dealing with some illnesses. He's trying to get back. So Peyton Pardee, who started the season as the wide receivers special teams coordinator, he got promoted to offensive coordinator a couple weeks ago because A.J. Smith stepped down. And then all of a sudden he gets thrust into the interim head coaching position because Wade Phillips has to step away. So it's been a dramatic change for this organization. They've had a lot of things to sort through. And they have a much different roster this year. They've got Kellen Mond now, the former Texas A&M product, Vikings draft pick as quarterback. And he's shown some potential, but, it's been tough for him to settle in where, the offense has been switched up a little bit throughout the season. Peyton Pardee's coming and he's wanted to be a lot more run heavy compared to what San Antonio has done in the past with A.J. Smith. So, yeah, for the Brahmas, the issue for them is they just haven't been able to gel with some of the new pieces, some of the new things. It takes time, and training camp's short. It's only 3 weeks. It isn't like the NFL where you have plenty of time between OTAs and training camps and mini camps and all this and all that. So, yeah, for these guys, I think San Antonio, their biggest problem is that they just haven't been able to gel. And I think we'll see them improve as the season goes on, but it's probably going to be a little bit too little, a little too late.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. James Larson from PF Newsroom is our guest, talking all things UFL as we continue on. My favorite team drops in a really good game to the Defenders, 37-33, and both of these teams looking really hot on the season. Talk a little bit about what you're liking from both sides.
I think what made this game so entertaining is the fact that we actually had players on both teams that have been in those systems for a really long time. Jordan Tiamu has been the starting quarterback for DC for 3 seasons now. Luis Perez has been the starting quarterback for Arlington for the last 3 seasons, and we saw the fruits of that, where both of these teams who know each other very well, who have played each other a lot, these offenses were absolutely cooking. I mean, that first half, we've got a 27-15 score. Both quarterbacks had over 200 yards at the half and a couple of scores on their own end. And, we're seeing Tiamu, we're seeing Perez. These are spring veterans, guys that we've talked about these guys for years and years and years on this show. And here they are, still doing it, still performing at a high level. And I think that is exactly why we've seen DC and Arlington on their side, they've at least been able to maintain the same coaching staff. DC has been really impressive because they lost their head coach. They lost their defensive coordinator literally as the season started or during the season. So to be able to kind of bounce back from that and to be as good as they have been, kind of just shows the culture they have there in DC. And these guys, they come together, they're willing to push through the adversity, and they've been really great because of it.
Now, the whole reason of this league is, of course, to develop players, get them back into the league or get them into the league in the first place. For you, of course, you've been watching these guys thoroughly throughout the seasons. And I remember just last year or 2 years ago, we were talking about how amazing these kickers were, and they go into the league and they find success. Well, now I'm looking at some of these actual skill players to maybe make a jump. Do you have any in mind that could be able to make that leap to the NFL by the end of this season?
Absolutely. I think it starts with Michigan Panthers quarterback Bryce Perkins. He's been absolutely tremendous throughout the season. He's had a split reps with Danny Etling, which has been a bit of an interesting choice by Coach Mike Nolan. I think moving forward, though, it seems like Perkins will finally be QB1 for good. But Perkins has been phenomenal. Like, if you watch him play, I mean, this past game against St. Louis, he was 21-25, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's making an impact on the ground. He's won Offensive Player of the Week 2 weeks in a row and could potentially win it again this week. They haven't announced those yet. But look at what he's been able to do. That's a guy that literally is a Super Bowl champion with the Los Angeles Rams, started in a couple of games for them, but he's shown growth. Like, his poise and confidence in the pocket has been really impressive this season. On the running back position, Jacob Sailors comes to mind. He was all UFL a year ago, had a stint with the Giants, but this year he's arguably been even better. He's second in the league in rushing yards, but he's also leading all running backs in receiving yards with over 200 receiving yards as well. So that's a guy who's got 4 rushing touchdowns, with leads the UFL. He's a dynamic back. He's a bit undersized, but what he can do out of the backfield, I think absolutely gives him a chance to make it to the NFL this offseason.
That's definitely exciting. And a guy that comes to mind whenever I think playmakers, and he did it last weekend, Hakeem Butler for the Battlehawks, of course. He hasn't had the same productivity this year. I believe some injury has something to do with that, but talk about him kind of getting back into the flow of things in the UFL.
Yeah, Hakeem has basically missed the entire season. He was active week 1, but was dealing with a hamstring injury and just clearly wasn't involved, which is what happens when you're hurt. So they kept him out for a few weeks, got him healthy, and now that he's fully back to the Hakeem Butler that we know and love, Offensive Player of the Year last year. Those 2 catches in the fourth quarter were pretty incredible. And the stat line for him, 2 receptions, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those are like Randy Moss type statistics. Like, I really want to get those screenshots together.
Last year, remember? I mean, it was almost every single game. It was 2 touchdowns in each one of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's exactly why he won Offensive Player of the Year a year ago. And he's on pace to at least, put himself possibly back in that conversation, depending on how these next few weeks play out. But, Butler, he's hard to guard. I mean, he's such a big body frame. He's got excellent hands. He's 6'6". How do you guard that if you've got a DB? Michigan's DBs, most of them are around 5'10", 5'11". Like, that's who's going to guard him? Yeah. So having Hakeem back, just energizes the St. Louis offense, takes you to a whole new level, and that's exactly what we saw this week. And how about them pulling out the trick play with wide receiver Blake Jackson taking a little pass and then backing up and unloading it to Hakeem Butler? I mean, so I was at the game in St. Louis. This was a game that I got to attend in person, and boy, that crowd pop was absolutely electric.
No, definitely. James Larson from PF Newsroom is our guest, and you are at quite a few of these games. You also do some photography as well, and I'm all for that side of it. I mean, tell us, though, how have the crowds been at the locations? Because I know there's some TV ratings that might not be living up to the expectations, but how are the stands filling out?
The stands have kind of been hit or miss. It's been a little bit disappointing again this season. Places like Houston and Memphis really have not looked good. Arlington hasn't looked great either. St. Louis is phenomenal. I mean, obviously they are the bread and butter for this UFL league where they're getting 30,000 a game. DC has been a bit disappointing, but even then they've still been solid. Michigan has shown a bit of growth, so that's been a positive this season as their numbers have been a bit more consistent. So, it takes time for spring football to try to, get its footing. And I think what will really help is when this league puts a bit more of an emphasis on local marketing. I think that'll really give them an up. Because, a team like the Birmingham Stallions, who have won 3 straight championships, they should be getting Protective Stadium to at least 15, 20K a game. That's a place where you go to Birmingham and there's a ton of people that they're like, Birmingham who? Stallions? Like, we don't know anything about that. And it's like, how do you not know about a team that's a pro football team in your, that plays right in the middle of your city that's won 3 straight championships? You know what I mean? Like, those are the types of things that hopefully as this league grows, they can kind of improve in those areas.
Yeah, I've seen some fans walking around with the Birmingham Stallions hat or maybe rocking the shirt, and I will say it is a very sellable logo, but you go to Birmingham, and it's hard to find maybe like a banner or two that's maybe on a building or even on
exactly
that says anything about it. So it is tough to see, but the TV ratings right now, last weekend, sitting at 400,000, I would say the average, but how and it's weird because 2 years ago, whenever the league came in, people were excited for some spring football. Last year, people were getting excited for some spring football. The players that were on some of these teams, they were big names. Of course, AJ McCarron was one of them on the Battlehawks, and he helped kind of project or push that team forward to where fans will show up to the games even without him. I mean, what do you think needs to really happen throughout these next few years to really push the UFL outside of the local marketing to maybe a national audience?
Well, I think it starts with, they have such a good base between the broadcast partners that they have. I mean, these games are on over-the-air networks most of the time between Fox and ABC and, of course, ESPN's cable, but ESPN's a very big channel in and of itself, right? I don't think the national audience is a problem because they have what they need on that end to get this in front of people's eyeballs. What they need, again, is more marketing. And I think it does start with the local marketing because, again, if you're not putting fans in the stands, you're not getting butts in seats, like there's a lot of people that will turn on a game and they're like, oh, wow, this looks really minor league because there's only 4,000 or 5,000 people in the stands. Like, that. Look, I mean, I watch football for football. I don't know. I feel like you probably watch football for football. But part of the experience is hearing those crowds get energized and, seeing people in the stands. And, that's what makes football special is, the community that comes around it. So I think, attendance is going to be the number one thing that helps this league grow because, as that grows, now you have the opportunity to try to attract some owners and be like, hey, look, we've got a team down here in Birmingham that's won a few championships and they're getting 15,000, 20,000 to a game. Like that's going to attract, ownership from people that might not be able to afford an NFL team, but they want to get into football. And maybe instead of looking at a different league, they're like, oh, you know what? The UFL, it's pro football. They're doing well. They're growing. Like those are the types of things that I think will really help this league get going. But like you said, another thing is the players, right? I mean, you need bigger names in here like AJ McCarron and Matt Corral. And you really need players that are going to resonate with the fan bases, right? Like, let's say, down the road, maybe the Stallions can attract a former Alabama quarterback that, what I mean? Like something like that where you can maybe get some, like, for example, when AJ McCarron played
faster than we think. Jalen Milroe did get drafted, but who knows what's going to happen with him?
Right. I mean, that's a guy that there's no guarantee he sticks in the NFL, maybe 2 years down the road. He's looking for a chance to be like, do you want to be a third, fourth string quarterback on a team, or do you want to come to Birmingham and be QB1 and come back home and try to get, that game film that you need? So those are the types of storylines that I think we'll see more of over the coming years. And we've seen a lot of new talent come into the UFL this year. It's been really good.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And before we get you out of here, I mean, we look at, the ticket prices for an NFL game compared to an UFL game. And on top of that, you were talking about the prices of getting an NFL team into a city compared to getting a UFL spring football team. And I mean, that is a huge difference in Birmingham for our Alabama listeners. I mean, you're looking at the Stallions facing off against the Brahmas this weekend in Beeham. That's a game that is very much likely going to go the Stallions' way. So I would definitely urge everybody to try and get to that one.
And it's one of those things that makes spring football so interesting is it feels like Birmingham's the favorite just based on San Antonio. They're 1-4 and they just lost by 24 points at home. But then you remember that the Brahmas only win of the season came on the road against DC, the top team in the league. So like I think that's why the UFL is so much fun. Where in the NFL, like when you've got a team like the 1-10 Chicago Bears going up against the 10-1 New England Patriots with Tom Brady, you know who's going to win that game. You know what I mean? Like you don't even have to tune in. But in the UFL, you have to tune in every week because the parity is actually really impressive. And even though some of these teams are 1-4, 2-3, they can beat anybody any given Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, I did kind of go back on what I said. The Showboats did do just that against the Stallions last weekend. And the Memphis was even a bigger underdog than the Brahmas are this week. But great stuff. As always, James, I appreciate you hopping on with us, talking a little bit of spring football. Let the people know where they can also follow some spring football, as well as maybe get a little bit of their eyeballs on your photography you got going on.
Yeah, so most of the football stuff that I do is going to be on Twitter/X. I don't know what you guys want to call it. I still call it Twitter, but you can find me over there at James Larson PFN, or if you're trying to stay up to date on all UFL related news, go to pfnewsroom.com. That's where you're going to find the articles and all that good stuff there. And yeah, if you're interested in seeing the shots that I get during games, you can follow me on Instagram at James Larson Official.
Very good. And I'm going to keep calling it Twitter until Elon switches it up to where when I click on X, it doesn't give me a URL that says Twitter for a split second and then goes to X. Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm with you. I still type twitter.com whenever I go.
And it still takes you there.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I think it's maybe a transitional thing. Either way, James, appreciate you as always, brother. You have a wonderful weekend and enjoy some football. And maybe there's like playoffs going on for basketball and hockey too, which might also be playing a factor in on the ratings. But regardless of that, you have a wonderful.
The NFL draft this week. I mean,
Yeah, no, that was even bigger than all the other ones. I hear that it got more eyes, not just in the crowd, but on television than both the NBA and the NHL, which is still so wild to me that people like to see players getting picked in a draft and walk across the stage. It's very interesting.
It's 2025.
What are you going to do, man? I appreciate you, James.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff. As always, James Larson from Pro Football Newsroom. It's not just the UFL that is covered over on that site. You can also find a little bit on arena football. Yes, that is still going on, as well as all of the other leagues that are going on here in the area. We're going to take it to break off of that. When we get back, phone lines open to you, 256-576-9770 here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Chris Sale on the mound today for the Atlanta Braves. He's 1-2 with a 5.40 ERA. The Braves are a $2.45 favorite, and the Rockies plus 200. 10 over the total today at Coors Field. Yesterday, Braves 8-2 over the Rockies. Colorado has dropped 8 consecutive games. NASCAR this week at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Worth 400. Kyle Larson has gone from 6-1 to 5-1. He's the only favorite on the board. William Byron 6-1. Tyler Reddick plus 750. Christopher Bell and Danny Hamlin both 8-1. Ryan Blaney 9-1 to win the Cup race at Texas. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket. Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through a good chunk of the afternoon. The vast majority of us, though, going to end up staying dry. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky today. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s, only dropping into the mid and upper 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. A mostly cloudy sky. Thursday afternoon, temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. There is a better opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms through the heart of Thursday afternoon. No real severe weather is expected across the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Never miss 1 second of Charger baseball with the Charger Zone.
And he is just absolutely parked one. I don't believe the left fielder or the center fielder for AUM even moved.
Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Jamming out on a Wednesday here on the Blitz, 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester. Phone lines open to both of those stations, 256-576-97.7. As we go into the second hour, ESPN Winchester won't be listening to us, but it's all right. You guys will get Tom Abraham later on in the day.
Go ahead and get the 977 ESPN app.
Yeah, just download the app, and you'll be able to listen to every hour of every one of our shows here on 97.7. It's on Apple and Android devices, and it's free. And why not grab the Talk Radio WZZN app while you're at it? And maybe even grab the Big Zone Deals app, which is just called the Big Deals. But then you can find the Big Zone Deals on that app, and it makes getting our deals so much easier. And hey, you know what? You still won't be burning a hole in your pocket. That's free as well, but the deals, of course, 50% off. So I think that's good enough.
What other station doubles your money? No, it's just us.
Just us. Yeah, just us. Yeah. So I wanted to look at the Titans draft picks real quick because I think they had one of the more powerful draft classes. And I looked through it and I gave my own little thoughts and my own little ratings. And I look at Cam Ward first off. I gave this one an A. Yes, I don't think that the Titans needed to go and reach for a quarterback this year. But at the same time, when you got a coach that's going into his second year, in Callahan, you need to really figure something out. And if you don't solidify what your team is going to be moving forward, you might find yourself out of a job after year 3. Now, they could get a quarterback in year 3, but they stuck with Cam Ward in this draft, which was the 20th ranked player all around, according to some different sites. But he was also the number 1 quarterback this year. Is that saying a lot? Not really. A lot of people thought Shador was the second best quarterback, and look how far he went. I think this is huge. I don't think it's bigger than what the Texans got in C.J. Stroud. I don't think it's bigger than what even Trevor Lawrence is for the Jaguars, but you are getting a very, very big, a very strong quarterback in the form of Cam Ward, and he's got some whip on the ball, all right? Out of everybody in the draft, I think he is the clear number 1, and I think the Titans got a quarterback that is all about the sport. I mean, you could see the conversations he's had with Shador in the past. He is not going to rap. He's not going to, go out and gamble or, find something else to do. He is strictly football, and I love that about him, similar to a guy like Hunter, who is strictly football. I mean, you look at the interviews with him, man, he'll give you 4 words if you ask him about, how he's doing. But then you ask him about his childhood, how he got into the sport in the first place, man will go off on it, and he'll look like he's having the funnest time of his life. Then they get the 52nd pick in the draft. And stick with me right here, because when I first saw this pop up on the TV, I took a video. I said, thank you, Tennessee. Thank you for getting me a name that I will never be able to pronounce. Oluwafemi Oladejo. I can pronounce it. It just looked like it was pretty tough at the first place. I love this because the Titans were terrible when it came to getting sacks on the quarterback. You bring in a guy that is a linebacker that the Titans can utilize as a pass rusher. I think this might boost them up a little bit. Titans were sitting at 29th when it came to sacking quarterbacks, and that was not very good. Titans need to really solidify their defense. It was good last year. It can be great this year. I think adding on Oladejo is going to be a huge thing for the Titans, and with a little bit of freed up room in the linebacker spot, he might need to start right out the gates. Kevin Winston Jr., I gave a B. By the way, I gave Oladejo a A. I give Winston a B because he didn't play a majority last year. He dealt with an injury. I never thought he really was a great cornerback or a safety, but, at the same time, I think it fits well with the Titans, especially because Denard Wilson, defensive coordinator at Tennessee, he went to the same high school as this kid. All right. So maybe there's a little bit of that alumni connection that he might be able to get everything out of Winston Jr. And we might see a little bit of success. Shamir Dyke from Florida was the first wide receiver picked by the Titans at 103. I give this one a B. I think they needed a wide receiver for sure, but they needed one a little bit earlier. You need a little bit more help, especially with the rookie quarterback coming in. And I think that's also why they got Gunnar Helm in their next pick at 120, which I give an A-. Gunnar Helm, big body. He wasn't known for his catching abilities in his first few years in Texas. But, man, did he solidify himself in his last year, leading the team in receptions and really showing that he can do the best of both worlds. And throughout it, got another wide receiver, got another lineman, got a running back in Caleb Mullings. Hey, the team's figuring itself out sooner than later. We'll be back in the second hour.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying roll tide and war eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Tom Luganville here from my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and we're committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. we show up.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Chris Sale on the mound today for the Atlanta Braves. He's 1-2 with a 5.40 ERA. The Braves are a $2.45 favorite, and the Rockies plus 200. 10 over the total today at Coors Field. Yesterday, Braves 8-2 over the Rockies. Colorado has dropped 8 consecutive games. NASCAR this week at the Texas Motor Speedway with a worth 400. Kyle Larson has gone from 6-1 to 5-1. He's the only favorite on the board. William Byron 6-1. Tyler Reddick plus 750. Christopher Bell and Danny Hamlin both 8-1. Ryan Blaney 9-1 to win the Cup race at Texas. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Temperatures relatively warm as we head into the overnight early into your Thursday morning. We're only going to drop into the mid-60s. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Thursday afternoon. Temperature climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. There is a better opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms through the heart of Thursday afternoon. Some of that activity could be on the stronger end of the spectrum, and then maybe some gusty winds across the Tennessee Valley. That activity will subside as we head into the overnight early into your Friday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
NFL finds Jeff Ulbrich. Well, finds the Falcons and Jeff Ulbrich combining $350,000 due to the prank call on Shedeur Sanders and a few other players just a few days ago. So, yes, there is some punishment coming down. And maybe the Falcons aren't the ones that are doing it, but the NFL definitely is, especially whenever, well, a Hall of Famer is involved in the form of Deion Sanders. So, I've never done something that bad that would cost my dad $100,000, but I know that Jeff Ulbrich's probably not going easy on his son as, golly, what a wacky time it is to be alive as his son, you know, I believe he's going to Ole Miss or something like that. He came home for the weekend and saw an iPad that had a bunch of phone numbers on it. And you know what? I've seen my dad's phone list and everybody that's on it. There's only been one person that I wanted to take from his phone. Can you guess who it is?
I have no idea.
You'll have no idea.
I have no idea.
I think it was John Elway. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know if he's still got his number or not, but I believe it was John Elway that was on his phone that I was looking at. I was like,
nice.
What? I was like, this guy, first off, this guy's amazing. Second off, this guy was the reason Tim Tebow is out of a career. Third off, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. One of the most selfless quarterbacks to ever play the game. Maybe a little bit more selfish as one of the owners, GMs of the Broncos. But regardless of that, Jeff Ulbrich going to be fined $100K due to prank calls from his son.
You know, I'd like to steal your dad's phone, Steve Moulton's phone, and Wes Neighbor's phone.
Dude, look, I've had collections that have been pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But the collections of phone numbers on some of these guys' phones can get up there in price.
I mean, just to work normally. Hi, I'm Brian Temple. I normally work on the drive and work with our owner, Wes Neighbors.
Yes.
He knows everybody and talks to them regularly.
Oh, and everybody knows him too. That's the crazy thing. I went to go get my hood fixed on my Mustang a few weeks ago.
Right.
And
looks good, by the way.
Thank you. It's a nice little black and red. My favorite color scheme right there.
I
Next
still
to
think you need a rally stripe.
blue and red. I want to rally that thing out
Yeah.
all the way. I want to ridiculously rally it out. I'm thinking about putting a pinky in the red crimson on the hood, matches the side of the car. Then it'll make the car match even more with the black hood.
Okay.
And then
I'm
maybe
put
put
a
it.
bookmark on that. I need to ask you about that because I don't get it.
Okay.
Okay.
The pinky?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I haven't promoted it enough.
Is that
Even
a long story or?
I mean, it's not too long of a story.
Is it not appropriate for here?
Oh, it's very much appropriate. I just haven't had time to really bring it up. I could bring it up at any time. It's the Pinky Out Gang.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And it's, I just kind of, I don't get it, but okay.
It's interesting. Yeah, no, me and my
What the
buddies.
kids are doing these days.
Yeah, John Abraham, by the way, with Brian Temple, as Joe is sitting
The
out.
John Abraham.
Due to his, the John Abraham. I had to stop putting that in my emails to people because it seemed a little bit too much. But Joe Hunk out for the week. He's having a child. It's already been had. Probably adorable, and he didn't name it the name I thought he would give it because we had an extensive conversation about naming it Glork. We want him to call in.
It's a family name, I guess.
And yeah, and maybe he will, and maybe he already is, but you guys can as well at 256-576-4977. This show, as always, presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Guys, look, it's been a beautiful last few days. Tomorrow, though, there's going to be some weather coming in. That's going to lead us into the weekend. There's going to be more weather coming in. So Fleming Roofing and Restoration are the guys you need to give a call. You need to look up online at FlemingHSV.com. Fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up.
Hey, you want to talk to Brandon?
I always want to talk to Brandon. Brandon, how you doing, man?
Man, y'all talking about phones and information.
Right.
I'll tell you one I'd like to see.
Okay.
Shannon Sharp's phone.
Oh, my gosh. Come on. Look. We touched on this for a split second.
Right.
Just goofing and gaffing about Shannon. During Talking Ball. And now we're going to get into it here. All right. So I'm not 100% on what all Shannon Sharp has done this time. I know that there's more legal troubles that are coming out. And if you look up his name, you're already getting into the not safe for work conversation. Why are we dogging Shannon Sharp now? Did he do something even worse?
He won up Shadur Sanders. We thought Shadur Sanders losing $40 million and sliding 5. By the way, I made up some song titles for Shadur Sanders going from 1 to 5. But we thought that Shadur had screwed up. Shannon's looking at like $100 million if he gets fired.
It's coming. I mean, you don't put some of these words into lawsuit articles and still get out of there with the job or without a loss of quite a bit of money.
TikTok clock's ticking.
Yeah, well, he won't be paying $25,000 a cheek no more. If he loses this $100 million, I promise you that.
Man, it was only like 2 months ago, I think, that he got exposed. Like it was like a video call or a video came out, and I was just like, okay, that's a little controversial. But hey, you know what? People still siding with Shannon. They're just saying he's a dog. Well, he might actually be a dog in other ways. I can't. Yeah,
you figured after you got by with that, you would have learned.
Yeah, you would think. Not at that level. Whenever you are to the publicity and fame that he is at and that a lot of stars have been at in the past, it is a slippery slope, and you think you can get away with a lot more than you actually can.
Well, I guess if you think about that dude that worked at CNN, they let him come back to work after what he did. So, I mean, kind of sets a bad precedent, but I just thought Shadur Sanders had a bad weekend until they dropped all that crap on Shannon Sharp and said that he was going to lose $100 million. And I'm thinking, step away from the keyboard, step away from the phone.
I'm looking at the titles of these articles right now, and I'm thinking, what the hell is going on in this guy's life?
Yeah.
Like, where did it go? And I mean, you could also throw
that's like putting classified stuff in a signals channel.
Yeah, you could also throw Quinn Ewers into that group of guys that are losing a lot of money.
I do not understand that. I understand why Shadur slid, but I don't understand the whole Quinn Ewers. Yeah. I think he's a decent quarterback, and I think throwing wise, he's a better quarterback than Shadur Sanders is. Something about him sliding is either he's just very underwhelming, or his interviews didn't go well.
Well, this is a pocket present quarterback right here, and I think a lot of people are looking at him as maybe not as hyped up as what he used to be. And of course, Arch Manning coming in and kind of taking all of the publicity there. I think that kind of swayed the conversation away from Quinn Ewers into the next man up. And then it also swayed everybody's opinions to, well, Cam Ward's looking a little bit better. Well, Shador's getting talked about a little bit more. It just seemed like Quinn Ewers was that one man that just really didn't find it. And it stinks too, because just last year, this was looking like a top draft pick. And now looking at him, of course, getting picked in the 7th round, I'm thinking college, maybe another year. College wouldn't have been the worst idea.
No, there was no way I would have jumped to the NFL, but except for Travis Hunter was out of eligibility, right?
Yes. Well, Travis,
Okay.
no, well, he was 4 years in. He got in through Jackson State, similar to Shador. I believe both of them probably could have made a case for themselves for another year of eligibility. Yeah, I mean, either way, they did their 4 years in college.
Well, I understand that he left when Travis Hunter left, because to him, he probably thought that was the best time to go, and Travis had to go.
Yeah.
But if I thought I could make $6 or $8 million coming back playing in college the next year, dang sure would have done it.
Oh, no doubt.
Wouldn't have thought twice about it.
Yeah. There were reports that were out that said Quinn Ewers could have made up to $8 million with a different school, because he knew he wasn't coming back to Texas. I mean, that ship has sailed just because of everybody's hype and love for Arch Manning. It's Manning time in Texas. Quinn Ewers time, it's going to come in time in Miami, maybe. Well, he's got a chance at least, because obviously Tua, but, I don't know.
No, I definitely would have made that move. And that blows my mind to see a guy go do that. And now he's making a little bit more than Brock Purdy.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, no, I think they might be making the exact same amount. The thing is, though, Brock Purdy was in a great situation to actually get a start. Whereas Quinn Ewers, I mean, it could fall into the exact same thing that Brock Purdy had, where there were injuries in front of him. He was able to step into place. But again, Quinn Ewers, it's a tough one for him, because, does he even fit with Miami the way that, we think that he would? He's not mobile. He can pass the ball all over the place. But again, it was definitely a mistake. We're talking a lot about guys who are losing money right now. So,
Now your dad is adamant that he is highly questionable on whether Shador will even make the team.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't make the team, is that the biggest draft bust from draft to beginning of season that you've ever seen?
The drop off, it is insane. I think a lot of the conversation really hyped up Shador. Okay. And I don't think a lot of people were looking at it as just another Colorado quarterback that had some good stats. They were looking at it as, this is Deion Sanders' son. Everybody's been talking about him. He should have been in New York. He's just another Colorado quarterback. The thing is, he had a guy like Travis Hunter on his team, who is a 2nd round pick. And on top of that, you're going to have a really high percentage if a majority of what you do is dump the ball off to one of the most talented players we've ever seen.
Well, I mean, but I look at it. It all depends, because I mean, people are saying, okay, it'll be a bust, but just look at the names that were pro Shador Sanders. I mean, Nick Saban,
Donald Trump.
Well, okay,
more or less.
I'm talking about sports people.
Yeah.
Nick Saban. We talked to Jerry Glanville yesterday, who has been spotting good picks since 1974. He picks Shador Sanders, and so what they see, you see these coaches that have an eye for that secret sauce that are pro Shador. Then Shador going bust, if he gives a shot, I think he'll show out.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at, but the guys who do. Just like, I don't know what I'm doing on the transmission of my truck, but I know a guy who does.
Exactly.
And I trust what he says.
Yeah. And it is a tricky one as well, though, because it is a quarterback. And whenever it comes to the transition to the NFL, we've seen it so many times before where they're great in college. And Brandon, I know you know this very well. The transition is night and day. It is a completely different game up on the next level.
Oh, agreed. I just wonder, have we ever seen somebody who was expected to be a top first-round pick or so thought to be get drafted as low as he did and then possibly get cut and not even be with said drafted team by the beginning of the season?
The only other guy that comes to mind is another dude that was drafted this year, Quinn Ewers. That's who I think, because he dropped off of the map going into this. And I actually thought pretty highly of Quinn. I thought he would at least be maybe a 4th or 5th round pick, similar to what Shedeur was. I don't think Shedeur is getting cut, though. I think looking at what the Browns are doing, they're trying to build up these two quarterbacks, similarly to how we saw it back in the day, RG3, Kirk Cousins. It was a good back and forth. And you know what? They helped each other become better. And once one of them was out, the next one was able to step up and take that team wherever they needed to be. And you know what? It makes for some good trade stock as well. But no, if anybody is going to be off of the Cleveland Browns by the beginning of the season, it's going to be Kenny Pickett. And you could already tell by whenever the Browns, they did not want to extend his contract into his 5th year because, of course, he was still on a rookie contract as well, but he was drafted a first rounder.
Well, at least he won't pull a Eric Crouch and give his NFL signing bonus money back, most likely.
Oh. Brandon, appreciate you, man. Always good to get you on.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide indeed. We got more phone calls coming in, 256-576-97.7. We'll take it to break. When we get back, we'll get into your phone calls and more because we got the Cover 5 coming up, and it is Brian Temple's very first time getting into the Blitz's staple segment, the Cover 5.
I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone. We'll be back.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are 2 very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an fighting organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Brian Temple here with you guys, chilling out on a Wednesday, getting into the nitty-gritty, the meat and potatoes of all the sports conversations around the area. 2 hours straight every single day. You guys can keep that going over on 97.7 ESPN.com. As you can also listen live over there.
And if you like the music, I'll be back this afternoon from 5 until 7 on The Drive with Wes and Steve.
See, I jam with that. This Jackson 5?
No, it's Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson.
There you go. Never heard this one before. Head back to the phone lines. You guys can as well. 256-576-97.7. It's the Bandy Man. Bandy, how are you doing today, man? It really feels like the afternoon Blitz now.
I'm doing good, brother. Currently in line, but everything kind of leads back to the Browns, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know that just as well as anybody else does. Yeah, no, it's true.
Everything leads back to it, but to be fair, that's kind of I would say it's a little expected, but
yeah. It's funny, too, because we had James Larson on earlier, and he brought up Kellen Mond, and I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, Kellen Mond. Yeah, I don't think about the Vikings Kellen Mond. I think about the Browns Kellen Mond whenever he was with them for a second when, they went to Canton and played that one preseason game. So that's what came to mind when I heard the name.
Yep. Sorry, I was currently in line and almost got into a wreck pulling out of McDonald's.
Okay.
How's y'all show going today?
It's going great, man. We've gotten into a lot of different conversations. We've talked about the Tennessee Titans draft picks, which I didn't get to get into all of them. We've also talked a little bit about Alabama maybe opening the door for pay for play for these high school students, which, I mean, at this point, everybody, I think, should be involved. If the rest of the country is and they're teetering on it, I think it should just open the door to everybody. Does that make me happy? Not really, but this is the way that football's gone, and I don't think it should have gotten to high school level in the first place. College, I can understand it, but high school level is getting a little ridiculous. What are we going to do? Are we going to start paying middle school football players now? Maybe Pee-wee football?
Yeah, Pee-wee pay for play.
Come on.
We're going down to pot one, or we're just going to keep going?
Come on, keep going. And then it'll get to baseball, because that's usually the natural progression after, basketball. You get to baseball, and then we get down to high school, middle school baseball. Oh, and then T-ball. Oh, dude.
Hey, I know this T-ball player.
Yeah.
He's going to be a stud.
He's going to be a stud.
Did they just tell me I was born too early?
Yes.
He wants $10 and 3 Chupa Chupa Pops.
I know, like, my goodness, if I could have been born like 20 years later from now, I could have been getting paid in T-ball and Pop Warner. I would have had much more incentive to do sports.
No doubt about it.
And there's still no money in the band.
Yep.
Right, and there's still no money in the band.
Golly. Anything else you got for us, man? It's good to hear from you, dude. We got to play some Pokemon soon.
Yeah, man.
Oh, 100%. But hey, always keep it cool, y'all over there. Love what y'all do. Love hearing y'all. Keep it
cool.
up, brother.
Keeping it cool. Appreciate you, Bandy. Good stuff. Good stuff from the Bandy Man. Look, Brian, we got to get into a cover 5.
Okay.
All
right.
And
now you've explained this to me a couple of times. I'm not quite following.
Well, it's just 5 questions.
Okay.
We usually never get to the 5th question.
That sounds
Hell,
about right.
we don't get to the 3rd question for the most part.
Right.
But we are going to get into some questions, and the door is extended to 2. Everybody listening, 256-576-97.7. And my first question to you,
all right,
since there's been a lot of these players, and I can look at one in specific, Hunter Renfrow. He took a break from football, and he's coming back to play for the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, what did you take a break for? Just to
recuperate?
or?
Recuperate mainly because he learned that the NFL is very taxing on the body. He even got down to 150 pounds at times. And this is a wide receiver in the NFL. So you think 170 is probably the low. He got to 150.
I haven't been that weight since like 9th grade.
Yeah. He's also had a bunch of different fevers that span above 100 degrees. And it did not seem fun. He takes a break. He's trying to get back into it because it's the sport that he loves.
Right.
What is something, Brian,
that
you really loved, and then it just kind of disappeared? Like you kind of just like, I'm over it now. I don't want to have to deal with it anymore.
Golf.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is going to open up.
It just got to be annoying. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I love the driving range. I do. I really do. And my short game was on point, but it's just like, I believe the words of Mark Twain. Golf is a long walk spoiled. It's just being out there and it's hot and especially you got to pick who you golf with, and I get that. But just I didn't want to.
Yeah. Well,
it just I was great. I played for a while, right, regular, and I was taking a tour of like this was back in the day when the Becky Pierce Municipal Course was still going. It was a great course. And go up to went up to Cherokee Ridge, went up to Ridgeland Golf Center up on North Parkway. I just bounced around all these places, Fox Run, and had a nice time. But after a while, it was just sunburns and boredom.
Yeah.
And just and so I sold my sticks and I haven't looked back.
Wow. But you were good at it though. Like you were
reasonable.
Consistent, maybe,
consistent.
Yeah.
Like I say, I was pretty good on the driving range. The short game was great.
That's
but
tough to
just,
come
kept it out of the rough pretty good. The decent was sand wedge, but I mean, there's a reason it was decent with sand wedge because it kept it in the sand traps. But just after a while, I mean, the dude was, it was just done.
Yeah.
And I sold my sticks and didn't look back.
Oh, okay. I think that is a reasonable thing to kind of give up on. I know that, it's one of those sports because I live with a guy that is really good at golf.
Right.
And he's even looking to go pro.
Right.
And Jonathan Liggett over at Cherokee Ridge Country Club, if you guys want some lessons, head on over there, ask for the John, and they'll know exactly who you're talking about.
Right.
Consistency is one of the biggest things. You got to be good. You got to be consistent. You also gotta love going out and being in the sun and having to deal with the sunburns. But it's just like, if you're good at one thing, there's another thing you need to be good at. And then there's another thing you need to be good at.
Yeah.
Chipping. And I haven't even got into like the 7-iron, the 8-iron, like all of those clubs hit differently. You have to have a slightly different stance. All of it. It's a very meticulous sport. And I could see that totally getting to the point where it's just like, I don't have to deal with all of this.
Well, for me, the fun part was the driving range. Because then you just get your biggest driver and just let the big dog eat.
Yeah.
And it just
I've always sucked at the driver, dude.
And I'm trying to remember Madison Golf Center. I took lessons. I'm trying to remember the guy out there, the instructor, because he kept winning all these longest ball contests. And he would regularly sit there on the driving range. If he wanted to, he'd start digging cars on 565 because he could hit them that far. And he would win longest drive contests for fun. And he taught me a lot about the mechanics and had my swing knocked down. And I don't have great body mechanics to start with.
Yeah.
More on that later. But he got it where I could hit consistently and good distance and put the ball right about where I wanted it, or at least where I could do something with it.
Yeah.
And I think it worked really well. But it's just and again, it was the right people. And maybe I just didn't get with the right people.
Yeah. That's definitely understandable as well.
But also I got annoyed too, because some of these people, and God bless you if you love golf, but some of these people, they're all about golf. That's all they talk about, just completely consumed. I had a general manager at a TV station I worked at, and he was all about golf, and that's all he talked about. And he would do these long, boring staff meetings, and everything would be packed with golf analogies. And his office was packed with all this golf stuff. And just that's all he did. It was all consuming. And if he wasn't at work, we knew where he was.
Yeah.
He was either on the golf course or at the house shopping online for golf clubs. And that's, and the good stuff like ping and stuff like that, Titleist, and, good stuff. But that's all he talked about. And I could not talk to him about anything else, including my job.
Huh.
And so, but the odd part of this story, all of a sudden, he decided he was done with golf.
Oh, so he also is done with golf.
No, just all of a sudden, just boom, like flipping a switch, all into fishing.
That is a natural
He bought a new
progression
truck
right
and a
there.
new boat.
Come on, that's the natural progression. I mean, Tom did the exact same thing.
Really?
He was huge into golf. He loved going out there, playing. Of course, he was a part of a lot of the NFL alumni's golf tournaments that they had, and of course, we still put on a really good show in the charity golf classic that benefits Make-A-Wish Foundation. By the way, photos over on our Facebook if you did attend the event. But he,
by the way, official numbers aren't out yet, but we did really well.
Yeah,
we did a lot for stuff for Alabama Make-A-Wish, and I'm glad to be part of it.
And we're going to be talking a lot more about that as we get closer to the RCAs, as we do recognize the Make-A-Wish Foundation here in Alabama. But, Tom, he did the same thing. He kind of just stopped playing golf altogether. Maybe it has something to do with a thing that's almost, touching his heart. But yeah, he totally stopped. He went straight to fishing. He's always loved fishing, but that is the natural progression.
Yeah.
It's even more relaxing than golf,
right?
Because I don't think you can really throw at your back too often when you're fishing, especially with the smaller fish. Depends though. If you go sea fishing, it's a totally different game.
Well, see, I've always enjoyed fishing, but not like pro fishing. I mean, just like the full line in the water and take a nap.
Yeah.
that's the kind of fishing I like to do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I understand that.
But as far as I get the thrill of it. I like watching it sometimes, but okay. But other than that, I think you're just trying too hard.
Yeah. No. Well, if you guys are still into golfing, we do have something that'll deal with those very expensive prices at
Get you
certain
some
places.
zone deals, man.
Zone deals, yeah, big zone deals. Head on over, Cherokee Ridge, Gunners Landing, all of that good stuff. You guys can save a lot of money.
And more coming.
And a lot more coming. But the club's still going to be expensive. They're still going to cost a little bit. Get them on the secondhand market or something like that. Brian,
But anything that you're going to do has stuff.
Yeah.
And my stuff has been broadcasting, and I've got all this, mixers and microphones and all this other stuff at my house. And my wife calls it my golf because it's my office is just packed with stuff.
well, that opens up another door, because you say that my stuff would be cameras. Like if you have something, it usually will cost a lot of money. Now you can get into the smaller hobbies as well, but if you have something that you really think is your personality and you want to really delve into, it's going to cost a lot, because you can't buy a camera that's going to shoot really good without it being over $500+
Yeah, there's a threshold there.
Yeah. So
but then there's another threshold at some point there. When you get above that, you really don't get that much improvement for your money.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean,
you get over
iPhones do a really good job in the first
they
place.
do a pretty good job, and it's enough to get you addicted.
But it's the freedom of having a DSLR or a normal mirrorless
That
camera.
stuff is gorgeous.
Yeah. I'll have to bring mine in and show you someday. Regardless, my thing that I got into and I dropped.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
It's not that interesting.
Okay.
Rallycross racing.
Huh.
I got really deep into rallycross.
Yeah, I could get into that.
And it wasn't just rallycross. It was also rally in general, where the car is going through the dirt, gets from point A to point B.
Right.
And that's it, and everybody else goes through it.
Yeah.
I loved playing the video games. I want to actually build up to the point where I'm actually in a rally car and I can actually do a rally.
Yeah.
Watching rally, though, at the highest level is about as entertaining as watching paint dry on the wall.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. These guys are so good, and it is so fast, and it is entertaining every once in a while.
Right.
But they're so good, and they're in these cars that are so unrecognizable to the point where it's just like, oh, these are Hot Wheels going down a track.
Right.
And it still has its entertainment if you can even find it, because the only place you can find it on is like rally.com/TV/ all of these other things. And you got to pay a certain amount of money. You can't get it with your normal TV package.
Yeah. Now back in the olden days when dinosaurs used to roam the control room, there used to be the golden days of ESPN during those break times where you would see they start running all the old World's Strongest Man competitions and stuff like that.
Yes.
And lacrosse. But they also run some rally races.
Dude, that was probably around the time Group B was around, which was the most dangerous of rally, because plenty of people have.
They would do that in Baja, and they would do it Australia and all this stuff. I love the tech of it. I love that they're building these vehicles, but and maybe I'd love to drive one, but as far as watching it,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah. Watching it
doesn't look as much fun as driving the car.
I don't know who's into cycling, but I would say it probably equates to cycling on that one.
Well, the only thing I like about cycling, especially the Tour de France, is the scenery.
Yeah.
The same reason I like watching golf on TV. This beautiful scenery.
It's a chill vibe to have in the background as well.
Yes, I liked watching the Masters here a few weeks ago because CBS just goes all out and just does it. I mean, they put their 4K cameras. They had some 8K cameras out there and just beautiful photography, drone photography, big, long boom shots, and just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. And I like the in-between cuts wherever they just show the flowers for a second and have that music, the calming voice. That right there, I could see why you'd have a appeal to that.
And here comes Jim Nance.
And speaking of random sports, I did fancy a little bit of professional cornhole.
Did you?
The other day. It was quite entertaining to watch. I didn't know how serious they got, but they got super serious.
I have a problem with cornhole.
What's your problem with cornhole?
The name.
Why?
It sounds perverse.
Cornhole? I mean, anything with hole, I feel, would sound perverse.
You got to be real careful. I keep wanting to say cornhole the game. Beanbag toss.
It just doesn't have the same, thing as cornhole.
Because the first time I heard, because we always did beanbag toss. I mean, I guess
beanbag.
I guess growing up Baptist. But and then somebody called it cornhole. I'm saying, excuse me, what?
Whoa,
hey, easy.
Hit the dump button.
There's ladies here.
Cornholio.
Well, so
for my cornholio. Yeah, you can't go too hard on that one. Look, I've gotten in trouble.
I'm an 8-year-old trapped in a 55-year-old man's spot.
I've gotten in trouble for the amount of times I've gotten either close or said it spot on this show in the past.
For the nearly 200 people watching on the WZZN TV, I'm sorry.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I'll look right at you right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Next question we're getting into. A study that came out earlier this week links 124,000 deaths to processed food over the last 2 years.
That don't surprise me.
You know anything about that, Brian?
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay. It's absolutely terrible. Okay. There's plenty of people who continue to indulge in these processed foods, even though we know for sure that they're probably not that good for you.
Right.
Knowing this information, with over 100,000 people passing because of these processed foods, what's a snack or food you would love until death does you part?
Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh my God.
Not even a pause.
Golly.
Nature's perfect food. Proof that God loves us.
Well, that's the snack. Is there a food that you'd also be that sure about? Because there are plenty of processed.
Culver's frozen custard with Reese's peanut butter cups in it.
This man, he is hooked. You are addicted.
And I speak that as a man who is lactose intolerant.
Oh no.
Yes.
You're going in
I am
on
committed.
This.
I am committed.
Yeah.
I will suffer that. Because I've been, my wife and I have just recently discovered Culver's in the last month or so.
Wow, that's crazy.
And what drew me in was something called a butter burger, and I'm going, I'm in. But that concrete mixer frozen custard thing, oh gosh, that is something. Now I will say this: I have been much more mindful, especially, and for those of you who don't know, I have muscular dystrophy, which means I have to really watch. I don't move as well as other people. I'm very fine. I just don't breathe as well, and I don't move as well as other people. But I other than that, I'm still me. Just the package that carries me around doesn't work as well. So I have to really watch what I eat, and just make sure I don't eat too much, and make sure I'm kind of eating on a healthy, healthier than usual.
Exactly.
And so I've been doing more about high fructose corn syrup. And so they put in soft drinks because I've given up soft drinks for a long time. And was speaking to my nutritionist, and she says the high fructose corn syrup actually tricks your body and you don't process it right. So you don't process sugar right. So it actually makes you heavier.
Yeah. And I can feel that whenever I'm eating a dish, maybe at Baumhauer's, I get a root beer. I'm feeling like I'm getting full than I would with water.
Yeah. And some of that's the carbonation too. But some of that, so it's just not as healthy. And it actually makes you retain weight. So just being more, it's an excuse for me. For the longest time, RC Cola, the pride of Columbus, Georgia.
Got to go to Bell Buckle, Tennessee for that.
Yeah, or you get like the people talk about the Mexican Coke. It's made with cane sugar. Well, cane sugar is just fine, and you can have a lot more cane sugar than you can high fructose corn syrup.
There you go. Brian giving you all the information.
I am old school Southern, so my sweet tea is so sweet that the spoon could stand up in it, but that's cane sugar, and that's not anything else. Well, and I'm still losing weight. I've stayed at 218 for over 2 years now.
No, Domino's Pizza has got me in a chill cold.
Oh,
it's not
a circle of sadness.
Like I could not see myself ever giving up on pizza in general, let alone Domino's Pizza. Not sponsored whatsoever, but
hey, call it. Go ahead and call us 256-576-4176.
But like, there's so, and now they have, what is it? They have the is it the mozzarella or the Parmesan stuffed crust? And I know I laid this segment out the worst time because I haven't eaten since the beginning of Talking Ball. I had like a bar in between, which hopefully wasn't processed.
Right.
But yeah,
no, it looks all right.
Domino's and the Nutter Butters, and obviously I love Reese's Pieces or any
Nutter Butter's
Reese's.
pretty good.
I can't give up on those bad boys.
Get the chocolate covered Nutter Butters.
256-576 or 97.7 if you want to join in on the conversation. Brian's getting really into this show, and on top of that, there's a flip to this question, Brian, and this might help a lot of people out with kind of just thinking about it. What could I cut away from my diet? And this isn't a diet show. This isn't a health show. This is a sports show, but this is the Cover 5.
Right.
On the flip side, knowing this information,
right,
what would you be fine with giving up on and never having again that is a processed food? I'll go first this time.
Okay.
Chips, Lay's. I'll give up on any of those chips that are in those bags that honestly are not filled up all the way. I'm not huge on that in the first place.
I don't know that I could do that.
I can still do salsa chips, dip it in the salsa, drink with some queso maybe, but
I could give up some, but I mean, I'm a Golden Flake fanboy.
Okay.
From way back.
Golden Flakes are good.
It broke my heart when they sold to Utz, but they're doing okay with it. And I'll eat other things when there is no Golden Flake option available.
Yeah. Those cinnamon Utz are really good.
Pretty good. But I'm an old school ridged barbecue chip from Golden Flake.
Well, I've made
the chips you saw in front of Bear Bryant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've made the realization ever since I started getting pistachios. I don't need chips. I don't need most snacks. If I just have a bag of pistachios, shout out to my brother Thomas Abraham, whichever one you want to call him. I call him Tommy. He says whenever you get the craving to have something like a snack just throughout the day, pistachios are the way to go. And if you guys saw what this dude looks like, you'd feel probably pretty confident to trust him. He is quite jacked. Yeah. He is big. He's got a good build to him. And he does nothing but eat. And he's able to stay in shape because he stays away from the bad food, the nut clusters or the goo goo bars or oh my gosh. He stays away from all that stuff. And it's because of the pistachios. And I've learned myself, go to Walmart, get some pistachios. Anytime you look for a snack in the pantry, just grab the pistachios.
Yeah.
Don't cheap out though. Get the pistachio brand.
Yeah.
Because that is great.
And I agree with that because I've got a buddy who quit smoking that way because he was it gave him something to snack on, also something for his hands to do.
Yeah.
And so he quit smoking that way. And I like pistachios too. And I get that I get that. And sometimes I'll get a bag of pistachios, if it's cool in the evening to sit outside and throw the hulls on the ground. But I mean, it gives me something to do to kind of sit outside and just kind of let my mind rest. I get that. And
pistachios are the
because
one
it gets
of the
you
world.
that taste, but it also gives you that tactile thing.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And yeah, chips are the ones for me. Brian,
I don't know what I'd give up.
You don't know what you'd give up?
I really don't know.
Well, we could hit a break and you could think about it a little bit harder. Let's do that
because I mean we're running a little long here.
And you guys could also do that. Just think about it: a processed food that you
call in,
never give up, and then you also, on the flip side, processed food that you would definitely probably think about giving up. And on top of that,
which one should you give up? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and also, what's something that you got into really hardcore just for it to kind of fizzle out? Maybe it's golf. Maybe it's rally. I highly doubt that because there's only a few people I feel like are getting into rally.
Yeah.
256-576-97.7. We'll take it to break here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The sound of the organ. The crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall. And the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying roll tide and war eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia if you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile, and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99, and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99, or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
You know, I'm actually forgetting something. I actually already forgot something. It's already long gone, but final segment, best segment, last segment. I forgot to say the whole thing at the beginning of the second hour. Regardless, this is the Blitz. John Abraham, Brian Temple sitting in for Joe Hunk as he's got the week off as he welcomed a brand new child into the world. And I welcome you guys in. If you are just now joining us, well, you got in at the last second of the show. So 256-576-4977 is the number to get in. As always, presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Had a great conversation with James Larson from the Pro Football Newsroom earlier on in the show. Tomorrow, we're going high school, and we got a high school coach hopping on with us, and we'll get into a lot more interesting things in the first hour as well. But to finish off the show, I didn't fully get through all of the Tennessee Titan grades. Khalil Mullings from Michigan was the final pick for the Tennessee Titans, and I think this is a good one. Obviously, he's a little bit of a bigger back. He's going to have to work behind the two that are already there. And, I mean, Tony Pollard, who knows how long he's going to keep it up for the Titans. They like to switch running backs that come in pretty quickly, unless their name is Derrick Henry. But, of course, they drafted Derrick Henry. Tajay Spears still there. He's going to be a workhorse for him as well. But they didn't have that big running back, and I think that's exactly what Khalil Mullings from Michigan is going to do. Connor O'Gara came out with his rankings for SEC quarterbacks going into the new season. And I think this is interesting because there's some names that I haven't seen in a minute on this, including Zach Calzada. And for a guy like this, you know, we make fun of the TJ Finleys of the world, but Zach Calzada has been utilizing the transfer portal almost just as much. Texas A&M's where he started, had a 2,000-yard season, continued it at Incarnate Ward after a stint at Auburn where he didn't play whatsoever. He had another 2,000-yard season. This one a little bit better, but it still wasn't enough to find himself on an SEC roster. Again, while he's on Kentucky now, because his last year at Incarnate Ward, he had 3,744 yards and 35 touchdowns, which was absolutely crazy in the difference of play that he had from 2023 to 2024. He only had 19 touchdowns in 2023 with 9 interceptions. He still had those 9 interceptions, but 35 touchdowns? I'll get the SEC guys perked up a little bit. Kentucky brings him on, and he is the 16th quarterback on Connor O'Gara's list over on Saturday Down South. Go and give that a read, because Joey Aguilar is 15th. And Bo Pribula going to Michigan, sitting at 14. The list gets better from there. Joe will laugh at that. Jackson Arnold sitting at 13, and the list goes on. For me, for Brian, we're out of here. Tom Abraham coming up at noon. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics